Well, Ian, a really good performance from your side. Do you feel as if you're a little bit unfortunate to come out the wrong side of that one?
Yeah, yes and no. A little bit disappointed how we defended the set plays. Us as a staff, we've got to take a little bit of responsibility for the first one. Thought the organising was slightly wrong, so I'll take a little bit of responsibility for that. But we've got to defend them second phases of set plays better. It was nothing to do with size or anything like that. It was just doing the jobs in the second phases. But listen, the first half I thought we were great. It was as we predicted that they were going to be. They were going to try and sit off, frustrate us, but we moved the ball, we probed well, we created chances. Could we have took a couple more? Possibly, yes. But the first half I was really pleased with going in at half time. We just need to step it up. Little bit disappointed. The second half, the next 15 minutes, they done exactly what they wanted to do. They just stagnated the game. They made it they killed the tempo with how they dropped off, and we didn't speed the ball up, and it's something we got to look at.
I think you'd had 6 corners before they had their first one, and that's when they got that first goal. But you responded well to it, didn't you? Got back on level terms straight away. Yeah,
the mentality was the group was good. We responded well to the goal. We responded well to the second goal. Really tough to take the second goal, especially the timing of it. But then half time, like I say, we addressed a couple of things. Just like I say, the first 15 minutes, and we just had to make the changes eventually, just to try and get a little bit of a spark at the top end of the pitch.
You mentioned that second goal, you know, right on the stroke of half time, and looked very much like a handball. I'm sure you feel the same about it.
Yeah, you can't say how bad the referee's decision was these days, can you? But there you go.
Yeah, but as you say, you've got second half, and you'd started the second half on that high tempo, and you just couldn't quite get that going at the start of the second period, did you?
No, we didn't. We didn't. Like I say, something we need to address is. Listen, I've looked at the game there from the side. I'll watch it back, but the players, the confidence in that room there, they're ready for the second leg already. They know a little bit of things they need to improve on. I thought second half we just lost our tempo, our patience to move it quickly, and then we never really got in them areas to deliver crosses as much in the second half. But like I say, Morecambe are there, they do the job, and we just got to make sure we don't fall into what they want.
I suppose the last thing you wanted at the end was to concede another goal, wasn't it? Because at 2-1 you're still right in this time. Yes,
what the players have got to realise is that's half time now. So you've got to remember with Morecambe as well is they're at their most threatening when you've got the ball, because all they look to do is counter attack. So what we've got to do is get the balance of attack and defence right. I think going into the second leg, I think we just got to push players a little bit higher up the pitch and get into more threatening areas. Listen, we still got to be patient with the ball, because at the end of the day, what they want you to just go long and give it them back. We've got to be patient, but we've got to move it with a purpose, a bit more purpose. We did in the first half, second half not so much.
As you say, they play a certain way. That's the way they play. They're really good at the way in which they put their game together. Having played them today, is that quite good? Because then you've got a real nous going into that second game now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously we've played them in the season, but you've almost got a fresh memory of what they're like now. So you go into that next game now and you know what to expect. You can show them what to expect on your pre-match videos, but now having seen it and felt it, they know what's coming. And like I say, I think the room's confident. Although we've lost the first half of the tie, we're still confident that we can go and win it.
Very brave selection, you know, very forward-looking selection. Does it change your mind at all for the second leg, having seen how this first game's gone?
Not so much. Listen, we might make 1 or 2 tweaks. Obviously, we'll decide that over the next couple of days. But one thing's for certain is the style won't change. The style's not going to change, because that's what we believe in, not just as a group of staff, but that's what the players believe in. So we've got to keep sticking to that, and that's our identity.
And when you look at your bench as well, you know, you've got some great options, haven't you, to try and change things around a little bit?
Yeah, we have. Always the difficulty is your timing of it, who, when, where, and why you're doing it. So that's us as a group of staff. We've got to make sure that, like I say, I thought the subs impacted like we wanted to. They didn't quite get that goal, but I thought we did get more box entries when they come off on the pitch.
Fans in the ground today. I mean, you haven't managed to get the victory that they all wanted, but a terrific atmosphere.
The fans were outstanding. They were great. It was just a shame that we couldn't give them that at least equaliser to give them to cheer. But I think they can see the efforts of the players is there, the style there, and I'm sure that they've got the confidence going into the next game. And like I say, I'm sure they're right behind us. They won't be at the stadium, but they'll be behind us.
And of course, Morecambe will just have their fans there, but that's not going to make any difference to your guys, I'm sure.
No, I think even the players would prefer to play in front of any fans, even if it's away fans, just to get that atmosphere and make it feel like game day. But listen, the pressure, so to speak, or the expectation now shifts onto them. So we've got to now take the game to them, and we've got nothing to lose in the next half. But we'll go and attack it.
And you just say players, real confidence in the dressing room, so you're really encouraged by that, I'm sure, by their response at the end of the game, where they could be very disappointed that perhaps the green didn't go their way tonight.
Yeah, listen, the balance was there, don't get me wrong, they're not jumping for joy in that changing room, they are a little bit fucking up. Excuse me, but at the same time, that wasn't quite, it was half a one. But they weren't quite, they weren't just jumping for joy, but they're managing it quite well, where they know what to expect, the confidence is there, they know that another 90 minutes going into it, they think that they've got enough to go and win the tie.
And despite losing tonight, you've enjoyed tonight and really looking forward to Sunday?
No, I haven't enjoyed tonight, I only enjoy when we win.
Well, you win on Sunday?
Yeah, we'll win on Sunday.
Cheers.
Plenty of possession for Tranmere. Were you in any way disappointed that you weren't able to sort of slice Morecambe open more down the middle of the park? A lot of balls having to come in from wide, but in the middle they looked fairly impenetrable. Yeah,
that's them. They're very well organised. They keep the lines tight, they slide well. And like I say, I thought first half, I thought we did probe through the middle of the pitch a little bit more, even if it made them narrow up. But second half, I didn't think that we moved the ball quick enough in order to move them units quick enough. Their units could just slide and keep the distances very slowly. Like I say, we just dropped that tempo, but we're now used to it, we've seen it, we've just got to now go and make sure that when we're in it, the first half we were moving the ball, even if we were just lending it, it was moving them. We need to make sure that we continue that for the game.
Morecambe seemed to pick up a lot of injuries in the second half, didn't they, that required treatment at certain times throughout the game. Is that sort of an aspect of something that you've got to rein in frustration in this second half to try and get back in this game, because they're going to eat up the clock wherever they can, aren't they?
Of course they are. Like I say, their whole game plan is frustration, isn't it? So it's frustration in how they play when they're defending, and it's frustration in how they manage the game. I mean, the goalkeeper straight away from the first 5 minutes of the game was walking for the ball, for the furthest ball. He was trying to slow the tempo down, but we can't control that to a point. We can get onto the fourth officials, but we've got to make sure that when we're in control of what we've got is the ball, we've got to keep the tempo higher.
James Vaughan back in the starting lineup tonight. You got obviously a good shift out of him, was more than just a half, wasn't it? And he really set the tempo for the others around him. But he was running off the ball as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought it wasn't just him. I thought everyone approached the game right. They were all at it. I thought Vaughan, obviously, you've got to make sure you manage him. So he hasn't played 90 minutes for a long time. Would have liked to kept him on the pitch yet, but he was blowing up and he was mistiming a couple of tackles, and the last thing we need is him getting sent off for the second tie. So we made the decision to bring him off there, and then even if we knew we missed his presence, so to speak, but like I say, he was just tiring, and we've got fresh legs and good players and options on the bench. So I thought, like I say, the subs done everything they could, so we just got to keep moving.
Triple substitution, was that, were you thinking about that when you prior to making it, or did you just decide with Vaughan getting the yellow and that maybe it was time to make a host of changes all at once?
I think going back to what we were saying before with the tempo, I thought I wasn't really happy with how the tempo was for the first 20 minutes. I thought we needed a spark, and I thought them three players that we brought onto the pitch could add that spark, and they did at times, like I say, and they play higher up the pitch. Them three players that we brought on play higher up the pitch to get into the box a little bit more. So that was the thought process behind the substitutions, and like I say, they're fresh legs and they're good players, and like I say, I thought they tried their best and got little moments.
Do you think they'll find it more difficult to frustrate and kill the clock with the sort of expectations of their spectators there?
Well, this is the thing we've been speaking about over the last about fans coming back, is there's an expectation, like you can play a certain way this season without any repercussions from the fans, because there's no fans in the stadium, so you can play defensive, low possession football, counter-attack football, but when the fans are there and expecting that little bit more, it's obviously whether their fans accept that, which I think if they're winning games, they probably will.
But you say they're ahead, the pressure's now on them.
The pressure's now on them, but we know that because of what they are and what they do, I would imagine the game on a whole will look, obviously we want the result to be different, but it will look exactly like you've seen today.
The fact you've won there in the league, I think is a place confidence.
Yeah, I think it's not just that. I think that the performance in parts today, particularly the first half, and even moments in the second half, I think that they've got to take confidence from that. I mean, I don't think we've played that well with the ball for a while now, and looked at like we've had that type of football for a while, and you can see the lads believe in it. They want to do it, and like I say, it's one game that they've reverted back to it. We just need to make sure that we step it up now for next time.
Fans were obviously disgruntled at the end of the season that they sort of Tranmere's momentum was not going the right way in terms of the lead position and performances. Have you seen enough tonight to say that you've seen a turnaround in that since you've taken over the reins and worked with it on the training pitch?
Yeah, like I say, the players want to play that way. They want to play in front of fans. I think the fans want to see us play in that type of football. They don't want to just see us play direct football and hold football. Plus as well, we haven't got the type of players to do that. We've got players who can handle the ball and are technically good, so we've got to play to our strengths. And like I say, I think the best way to do it is in that shape and that system, and we've just got to keep believing in it like we have done.
With a short turnaround now until Sunday second night, do you just treat it like you would normally Saturday, Tuesday type during the season, or do you approach it a bit differently?
No, we've got to make sure we'll approach it very similar. The only difference being is that you've just played the opposition you're going to play next there, so the analysis of it is more important because you've got the evidence there straight away of what to expect. As regards to what you do on the training pitch, the actual content won't change too much because recovery is important, getting them prepared physically and mentally for the next game.